Direct and indirect objects. In this video, we will learn how to identify direct and indirect objects in sentences. First of all, let's talk about what an object is. The object of the sentence is present when a noun is receiving action from a verb. For example, he ate the watermelon. The teens spray painted the wall. Our teacher passed out candy. However, don't assume that any word after a verb is an object. For example, these are not objects. Her new album is amazing. Amazing is an adjective that describes the album. Her progress is occurring slowly. Slowly is an adverb that describes her progress. So again, we're going to learn how to find a direct object and an indirect object. First, let's talk about direct objects. A direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb. It is what is being acted upon. It follows the action verb, and it answers the questions whom or what. Let's look at some examples. She gave the present to him. The verb is gave, and we need to know what did she give? The present. He took us places. Took is the verb. Whom did he take? He took us. We cooked omelets for our parents. Cooked is the verb. What did they cook? Omelets. My bestie gave me his math notes. Gave is the verb. What did they give? Math notes. Brutus runs marathons for charity. Runs is our verb. What does he run? Marathons. Calvin gave the baseball a spot on the desk. What did he give? He gave a spot. Now let's talk about indirect objects. An indirect object is a noun or pronoun that is the recipient of the direct object. This is when the direct object is going to another noun or another recipient. An indirect object answers the questions for whom or to what. Please note that there is not always an indirect object. Let's look at our examples. She gave the present to him. I'm going to ask, whom did she give it to? She gave the present to him. Him is our indirect object. He took us places. Us is my direct object. But again, I cannot ask for whom or to what. So therefore, we do not have an indirect object in this sentence. We cooked omelets for our parents. For whom did we cook omelets? For our parents. So that is our indirect object. My bestie gave me his math notes. For whom did he give the math notes? He gave them to me. Me is our indirect object. Brutus runs marathons for charity. For what does he run? For charity. Calvin gave the baseball a spot on the desk. To what did he give a spot? The baseball. Don't get confused if the indirect object happens first. Pay attention to what is connected to the verb or action. Let's now look at some practice sentences from our textbook on page 383. For each sentence, we're going to identify the subject, the verb, the direct object, and the indirect object. Some of these sentences will not have an indirect object. Let's try. In their first race, Algernon beats Charlie. Algernon is my subject. Beats is my verb. And again, I'm going to ask, whom does Algernon beat? Algernon beats Charlie. So Charlie is my direct object. Miss Kinnian teaches Charlie reading and writing. Miss Kinnian is my subject. The verb is teaches. What does she teach? She teaches reading and writing. Whom does she teach? She teaches it to Charlie. So Charlie is my indirect object. Charlie trusts the doctors. Charlie is my subject. Trust is my verb. And I'm going to ask, whom does he trust? He trusts the doctors. That is my direct object. Take a moment to practice the next 4 examples in your textbook on page 383. When you're finished, we'll check them together. Number 1, the doctors give Charlie many tests. Doctors is my subject. Give is my verb. I'm going to ask the question, what do they give? They give tests. That's my direct object. For whom do they give the tests? They give the tests for Charlie. Number 2, Charlie's coworkers often trick him. Coworkers is my subject. Trick is my verb. To whom do they trick? They trick him. Him is my direct object. Charlie greatly admires Miss Kinnian. Charlie is my subject. Admires is my verb. Whom does Charlie admire? Charlie admires Miss Kinnian. That is my direct object. Charlie brings Algernon flowers. Charlie is my subject. Brings is my verb. What does he bring? He brings flowers. To whom does he bring the flowers? He brings the flowers to Algernon. Algernon is my indirect object. Now we're going to practice finding direct and indirect objects with task cards. For this activity, you're going to need a partner. With your partner, carefully read each sentence to determine the subject, the verb, the direct object, and if there's an indirect object, what that is. Make sure you're working together. When you're finished with the activity, check your answers with the answer key. After you're finished, begin on your practice worksheet. This is homework that will be due the following day. Now that you're done with your homework, let's check your answers. Number 1, Julio has taken many courses in life saving. Julio is my subject, taken is my verb, and courses is the direct object. Courses answers the question, what has Julio taken? Number 2, as a lifeguard, he will help drowning victims. He is my subject, help is my verb. Whom will he help? Drowning victims. Victims is my direct object. Number 3, Julio once gave me a swimming lesson. Julio is my subject, gave is my verb. Whom did he, or what did he give? He gave lessons. To whom did he give the lessons? He gave me the lessons. Lesson is my direct object, and me is my indirect object. Number 4, he teaches his students safety techniques. He is my subject. Teaches is the verb. What does he teach? He teaches techniques. That is my direct object. To whom does he teach them? He teaches the students. Students is my indirect object. Number 5. Only a trained lifeguard should attempt a rescue. Lifeguard is my subject. Attempt is my verb. What should they attempt? A rescue. Rescue is my direct object. Part B. Aunt May sent us 2 bus tickets to Chicago. Aunt May is my subject. Sent is my verb. Tickets is my direct object. For whom did she send the tickets? She sent them to us. Us is my indirect object. She took us to the most popular museums. She is my subject. Took is my verb. Whom did she take? She took us. Us is my direct object. Number 3. The Great Chicago Fire destroyed a large part of the city in 1871. The Chicago Fire is my subject. Destroyed is my verb. What did it destroy? Part of the city. That is my direct object. Number 4. Chicago has an excellent symphony orchestra. Chicago is my subject. Has is my verb. And what do they have? An orchestra. Orchestra is my direct object. Number 5. The tour guide showed our group the beautiful lakefront. Guide is my subject. Showed is our verb. What did they show? The lakefront. Whom did they show it for? Our group. Group is our indirect object. Number 6. Aunt May handed the man our tickets. Aunt May is our subject. Handed is our verb. What did she hand? Tickets. Tickets is our direct object. To whom did she hand the tickets? The man. The man is our indirect object. Number 7. The Brookfield Zoo houses a variety of baby animals. Zoo is my subject. Houses is my verb. What do they house? Baby animals. Animals is my direct object. Part C. Number 1. The professor gave his students a chance for extra credit. Professor is my subject. Gave is my verb. What did he give? Extra credit. Extra credit is my direct object. To whom did he give the extra credit? To the students. Students, therefore, is an indirect object. Number 2. The City Council has approved the budget for next year. Council is my subject. Approved is my verb. What did they approve? They approved the budget. Budget, therefore, is the direct object. The volunteers delivered hot meals to people in need. Volunteers is my subject. Delivered is my verb. What did they deliver? Hot meals. To whom did they deliver the meals? To the people. People, therefore, is an indirect object. Number 4. Once my brother drew me a picture of a daisy. Brother is my subject. Drew is my verb. What did he draw? A picture. Whom did he give the picture or draw the picture for? Me. Therefore, me is an indirect object. Number 5. Melissa sent Judy the directions to her house. Melissa is my subject. Sent is my verb. What did she send? She sent directions. Directions is a direct object. And Judy is the indirect object.